Chapter 1. Emma Winters. Anne-Marie? I scroll down the list of things I need to get done before the talent show in February as I enter the apartment. Taking on this commitment, while also making sure I don't fall behind on my studies and trying to keep a social life going, has been madness. Emma. Anne-Marie comes running out of her room. Her face is bright and smiling as she stops in front of me. We've only been living together for a few months, but thanks to Anne-Marie's uncle, we have an amazing apartment within walking distance of the uni campus. The University of North Irondale is an institution among the wealthy families around here, meaning that apartments and houses within a reasonable distance of the campus are pricey at best and impossible to get at worst. I laugh at the tiny woman in front of me. Her happiness is always contagious, but right now she's in overdrive. What's going on? Did someone slip you an edible? Emma. I have great news. Oh my God, I still can't believe this. You have to be happy for me. I know it's not what you were thinking, what with Edwin and all, but it happened. She squeals and jumps up and down, clapping her hands. Calm down and tell me what happened. I put away my stuff so I can focus on her. Okay. Are you ready? She looks at me for confirmation and I laugh. I'm ready. Tell me so I can be happy for you. He proposed. She squeals again. Edwin? I ask with a wrinkled brow. I set her up with a guy that I first knew from organic chemistry, but they hadn't done more than exchange a few texts. No, silly Brett. Your high school boyfriend? I thought you were broken up. We were. Didn't he dump you last year when you came here instead of getting a job at the local factory or whatnot? Anne-Marie nods. We met up a few times over the summer, and we've been texting a bit. He says he can't stand being away from me. Wait. Did he propose over the phone? Yes. It was so romantic. He made a banner and got down on one knee and everything. I stare at her for a heartbeat before I remember myself and plaster on a smile. All of last year she kept talking about Brett, wondering what he was doing and if she had made a mistake. It had taken me over a year to convince her to even think about dating someone else. The girl had fallen hard. I'm so happy for you. I hug her tightly and try to mean the words. Me too. And the best part is that he wants me to move in with him straight away. What do you mean? Doesn't he live back in Kingville? She turns serious and grabs my hands. Oh, Emma. I think I'm going to miss you most of all. But we both know uni isn't for me. I've looked into some online classes, and I think that's the better option. You're really leaving? When? He's picking me up on Friday. Friday? This Friday? But that's only 4 days away. I know I'm so sorry to be springing this on you so suddenly, but we talked all night and this is what we want to do. Are you mad? I sigh. No, of course not. Do you think your uncle will let me stay here? Oh, I'm sure. I'll talk to him. She winces. You will have to cover my part of the rent, though. I can pitch in a bit for next month, but... No, it's fine. I'll figure something out. Are you sure you don't want to finish the semester? She shakes her head. This isn't what I want. I thought it was what was expected of me. But it's not me. I nod. Anne-Marie has never fit in at uni. She grew up in a small town and couldn't understand how people could live in the same building and not know each other's names. She wanted to greet every person she saw, and kept telling me about the pie festival and garden fair, and all the silly things her town did to create a community. Anne-Marie didn't like studying, and panicked at the lack of direction her life had taken on. For me, graduating and looking for a job was an adventure I was looking forward to. For her, it was a dark abyss filled with nightmares. So when she said uni wasn't for her, what she meant was that life outside of Kingville wasn't for her. She wanted a husband and children. She wanted a simple, safe job she could go to every day, where she knew all her colleagues and everyone knew her. I give her another hug. I am so happy for you. Congratulations. Do you need any help packing? I'm good. There's just so much I have to take care of. I have to change my classes and call the dean. And my mom wants me to pick a venue so she can book it. Did you already set a date? The spring. I always wanted a spring wedding. Oh, Emma, you'll be a bridesmaid, right? I'd be honored. Good. She withdraws to her room, and I turn back to my tablet. I scroll through the list again. Anne-Marie had promised to help with the talent show, but I supposed that was out of the question now. I closed my eyes and thanked my lucky stars. I pushed the others to get started early. It's not that I wasn't happy for Anne-Marie. I was. But she left me not only with double my current rent, and fewer hands to help with the talent show, she had also become one of my closest friends during our first year together at uni. Despite our differences, we had somehow found each other, and when she asked if I wanted to share an apartment with her this year, I was thrilled. As she answers her phone in her room, I take a deep breath. I hear her muffled voice, and then she laughs. I rub my temples. She was crying over this man all last year, and now she's happy. And all I can think is how this messes up my plans. No, I'm happy for her. My best friend is getting married to the love of her life, and I'm happy for her. I am. Chapter 2. Emma. The quad is one of the busiest places on campus. Even with the days slowly getting colder, there's lots of people about. I warm my hands on my mug filled with terrible coffee and ignore the computer in front of me. I've snagged a table at the small coffee shop. The tables are the only reason they get any coffee sold at all. Nobody drinks it. Not unless they're desperate. I'm not. I stopped by dirty for a real coffee before I came here. I try to pretend the paper I'm writing doesn't exist and watch the people around me. A couple walk hand in hand. He's carrying her books, and I sigh as she smiles up at him. Not that I'm jealous. I'm not. I have no intention of ever falling in love. Love is a setup to cause as much pain as possible. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. But there is something nice about having someone there to at least offer to carry your books. As I glare at the paper that refuses to write itself and close the computer, I notice a girl carrying her own books. She's also got a coffee mug on her stack of books. It takes me a while to recognize her from my organic chemistry class. She's always sitting by herself. I put away my computer and toss the untouched coffee in the trash. It's almost time for class. The girl with the books takes out her phone. She's plain looking, with straight brown hair and very little makeup. She's dressed in jeans and a gray hoodie with whales on it. I'm searching my bag for my lip gloss when I hear a delicate scream. My head snaps up in time to see the girl land on her hip. Her stuff has dispersed over the ground, and she's glaring at a trash can as if it deliberately tripped her. Are you okay? I ask and hurry to her. Fine, she grumbles and takes the hand I offer her. A couple of guys walk by, grinning widely and chuckling to themselves. Should have gotten that on camera, one of them says. Oh, fuck off. I raise a finger and squint after them. The girl turns beet red and starts picking up her things. I bend down to pick up a slightly soggy book. I think we can save this one, I say with a smile and hand it to her. Thanks, she says and eyes the spilled coffee wistfully. I spot her phone, an older model. The screen is still lit up, so at least it still works. You have organic chemistry now, right? I say. She nods and wipes the phone. I'm Emma. Hannah. We walk together to the classroom, and when she sits in her usual spot, I only hesitate for a moment before I sit next to her. She's still wiping at her books with some napkins she found in her bag when a shadow stops in front of us. Edwin? I smile up at him. I'm sorry about Anne-Marie, did she tell you? Edwin went to the same high school as me. He was in the same grade, but as far as I can remember, we never talked. He's studying to become a marine biologist, and although I'm majoring in nutrition, we have some of the same classes. We had another class together last semester, and spoke a couple of times. Since then, he always comes to say hello when he sees me. He's an average-looking guy with ears that border on too large. He's grown out a short beard, barely more than some scruff since he came to uni, and it suits him. Yeah, I guess it is what it is. He glances over at Hannah. Oh, this is Hannah. Hannah, this is Edwin. He nods. We have classes together. Hannah blushes. Hi, she says. Again, I'm sorry things didn't work out with Anarie. Not a problem. He nods again and goes to sit down with his friends. So you know Edwin? I say to Hannah. Not really. He's never spoken to me before, but I keep running into him since we have the same major. Oh, so that's why you have whales on your shirt. She looks down at it and notices a coffee stain on one of the animals. A few girls walk in and laugh as they take their seats. Hannah eyes them the same way she eyed the spilled coffee. Do you know them? I ask, but she immediately shakes her head. I get the feeling that Hannah very much keeps to herself. The teacher takes his place by the whiteboard, and all of my attention goes to trying to understand what he's talking about. When the class finally is over, I blink at my notes. Did you understand that? I ask. Are we supposed to calculate this reaction, like how much the result is? Hannah is already putting her stuff away. No, we need to figure out what the proportions are. She pauses for a moment, and I can tell something difficult is happening inside her. I can help you if you want. You know what? I pack up my things. If I'm going to have any chance at understanding this, I need a coffee. And if you can help me out, I'll gladly buy you one as well. You want to hit up Dirty? For the first time since I met her, Hannah smiles at me. And instantly her face brightens, and she becomes a lot prettier. Sure. So, marine biology, huh? Yeah, I watched Free Willy when I was a kid and decided that's what I wanted to do. What about you? Oh, I don't like fish. The thought of touching one freaks me out. I shudder at the thought. I mean, what's your major? She laughs a little. Nutrition. I hesitate. Then I decide I might as well open up. I had a friend when I was a teenager. Well, we weren't really close. I barely spoke to her, but we would occasionally hang out with the same people. She was always going on about food and how unhealthy everything was. I didn't really pay attention. I just remember she would always cut her apple into tiny pieces and take a long time eating it. It took much too long for me to realize it was part of her eating disorder. We cross the quad and avoid the group of guys who seem to think that every weather is frisbee weather. Until it's time for snowball fights. I'm half convinced somebody pays them to hang out on the lawn just in case some tourists or parents come by, so they can see that this is a real university, just like the brochures. What happened? Hannah asks. There were some rumors about her, and then one day she didn't come to school. I think her parents sent her somewhere to get help. She's better now. At least, she was the last time I heard anything. But I read up on eating disorders after she had to drop out. I kept thinking I should have seen the signs. Somewhere in the process, I just realized that it was all very fascinating and something I could see myself doing. So you want to work with people who have eating disorders? Not necessarily. I could also see myself working with people who just want to be healthier, or at a care facility like the one my dad works at. He's a doctor. We turn away from the quad and head down the street to Dirty. I spot my brother Noah and his friend Knightley across the street and wave at them. Noah flips me off and Knightley gives me a nod. I roll my eyes at them. So, Hannah, I say as we get our coffee and find a table. What's your deal? What do you mean? She looks slightly terrified as she sits down. Are you single? Seeing someone? Married? She looks down at her coffee. Single. Gay? Straight? Bi? Her eyes go wide. Straight? I nod and she looks relieved. And are you looking for someone? Why do you ask? There's a slight blush on her cheeks. I shrug. Just getting to know you. How about we have a look at that equation?